Women leave the newborn on business class plane seat, but why does she suddenly decide to find him 13 years later? Ronda came from a rich family, but her mom passed away when she was 2. So her dad raised her alone. He gave her everything she needed, but he was very strict. Ronda tried to hide her pregnancy, but her dad found out. "Ronda, are you pregnant? You must be joking," yelled her dad, David Harris, when he found out Ronda was having Peter's baby. When she told him she wouldn't get rid of the baby, he kicked her out. Ronda left, feeling sad and angry. She went to Peter's house, hoping he would help her, but he said he didn't want the baby and broke up with her. Ronda was heartbroken. She realized she was alone, pregnant, and with nowhere to go. She didn't know what to do next. Ronda's life was turned upside down in one night. She couldn't believe she was heavily pregnant, and neither her father nor her boyfriend was concerned about her. She left Peter's house that evening, crying and wandering the streets, unsure of where life would take her. Suddenly, she felt a sharp pain in her abdomen and went into labor. The pain was excruciating and she kept bleeding with passerby to help her. Fortunately, one woman noticed her and with the help of her driver assisted Ronda to her car and rushed her to the hospital. Ronda had a baby boy that night. When she woke up, Angela Bamford, who had helped her, was there. "Thank you for helping me," Ronda said quietly. "Is my baby okay?" "He is perfectly fine," Mrs. Bamford said. "Are you new here? I saw you had your bags." Ronda was crying as she shared her story with Mrs. Bamford. "I need to leave Texas," she sobbed, "but I'm not sure if I can care of my baby." Feeling sorry for Ronda, Mrs. Bamford offered to buy her a ticket to start afresh in a new place. "Please let me help you," she pleaded. "It would mean a lot to me." Ronda hesitated, feeling overwhelmed by Mrs. Bamford's kindness. "You have already done so much," she said. "I don't know how to repay you. Helping you would be like helping my own daughter," Mrs. Bamford insisted. Ronda couldn't refuse Mrs. Bamford's offer. A few days later, she found herself flying to JFK with her baby in her arms, starting a new chapter in her life. Ronda couldn't stop worrying about her baby's future as the plane landed. "What if I can't take care of him?" she thought, consumed by fear, lost in her thoughts. Ronda didn't notice when the flight ended and they arrived at JFK sitting with her baby. She kept thinking about their uncertain future. What if I can't provide for him? What if he ends up on the streets? These worries overwhelmed Ronda, making her unaware of her surroundings. Ronda felt terrified, realizing she would be alone in a new city with her baby and no support. She was anxious about what lay ahead for them. In a moment of desperation, Ronda made a difficult decision. She decided to leave her baby on the plane, hoping someone would give him a better life, waiting for the seats to clear. Ronda left her son with a note and quickly left the plane. It was hard for her to leave him, but she believed it was for his own good. When the stewards found the baby and read Ronda's notes, she felt sorry for him. Ronda's heartbreaking words revealed her love for her son, her hope for his happiness. 13 years later, after many struggles, Ronda finally found a good job and was doing well financially. But she still regretted leaving her son on the plane every single day. For nearly 7 years, she was homeless, and then she spent another 7 years working hard to earn money and rent a home. Things got better for her eventually, and she hoped she could give her son a good life. Ronda felt ashamed of what she did in the past and worried her son would never forgive her. But she decided to try and meet him, even though she feared it might not go well. When Ronda finally met her son, Matthew, he was angry. He didn't want to see her and said he was happy with his adoptive parents. Ronda had sought help from the police to find Matthew and was lucky to locate him in New York. His adoptive mother Lindsay, was hesitant to let Rhonda meet Matthew, but she agreed after hearing Rhonda's story. Rhonda apologized to Matthew and explained why she had left him. She didn't tell him everything, but she told him she was poor and his father had left her. Matthew was still angry, but he agreed to let Rhonda visit him on weekends. 10 years later, Matthew forgave Rhonda and accepted her as his mother. He understood that she had faced difficulties. Rhonda met a man named Andrew at work, and they have been dating for a month. She wants to marry him, but plans to talk to Matthew about it first. She also met Mrs. Bamford again, who was happy to see things working out for Rhonda.